everybody. Welcome to the Hallmarkies podcast. We are so excited today. We have a big Hall Star interview for you today. I'm film critic Rachel Wagner, and today we have Amy Acker here. And Amy, thank you so much for coming on and talking with us.
Oh, thank you for having me. I wish I had my Santa hat like you.
Yeah, if y'all are watching on the YouTube version, you can see it's Christmas in July. It's so exciting.
Yes.
So what we like to do when we have a new guest on our show is ask you, how did you get inspired to get into acting? How did you start?
Well, I started acting in high school. I grew up wanting to be a dancer and had knee surgery and had to stop dancing. And if we're being completely honest, probably really wasn't good enough to be a dancer either, but I loved it. And when I stopped, I needed to take an art credit in high school and had this amazing theater teacher, Nancy Pointer, who was at my high school, who just she was just very inspiring and made me fall in love with doing theater. She taught us, we did plays that normal high school kids don't get to do. And we learned Stanislavski and all this stuff that when I got to college, I felt like, oh, I already know all this from high school. And so she was the one who made me want to do this and love it so much.
Did you do both acting and singing, like in musicals?
Well, I was in the musicals. Let's see, what did we do? We did Hello Dolly. I was Minnie Fay, and what other musical? I know I did another musical, and then my senior year I feel like she was trying to be nice and give me like a part that I could be the lead of the musical in, but not have to be a really great singer. So we did Some Like It Hot, the musical, which I'm pretty sure is maybe not even a real musical. I don't know. I never heard of it before. Yes, but yeah, I got to play the Marilyn Monroe part, which was very fun and
nice.
Great.
Yeah, that's great. I loved doing high school theater. It's just such a great experience. All working together on your show and everything. And we did Bye Bye Birdie, which I feel like every high school also does.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's great. So do you remember the first role that you ever had on film?
On film? Well,
or TV?
I think the first thing I ever did when I did some commercials, but I wouldn't consider that necessarily a role. And then when I was in Dallas in college, I was on the show called Wishbone.
No way. I love Wishbone.
Yes. So I loved being on that show. They had kind of like a theater troupe company of actors who would rotate roles when he went. If you don't know what Wishbone is, which you do, but if anyone listening, it was this very cute Jack Russell who lived with his family, and then the kid in the family would be going through something, and Wishbone would go back and reenact his like fiction novels and stuff. So when the dog went back in time or into the novels, I got to marry him once, and I was his mom in the Aeneid. Yeah.
The thing that's crazy about that show is that they would do like really deep books. Like it wasn't all just like kids, normal kid stuff. It was like Dante's Inferno and stuff like that.
Yeah. I know. I think I was in like the courtship of Miles Standish. It was, it definitely wasn't like Ramona or something.
Yeah, that's right. That is really funny. I love that. I think it started there. So when you do a show that's as popular as something like Angel, what is that like? Is that just like a surreal experience?
Well, back when Angel was on the air, it was such a different time. And so we didn't have the immediate response of social media and
Twitter.
So it was like you could TiVo it, I guess, or we would get VCR tapes of the episodes to watch, and so it definitely I knew because I had watched Buffy before I was on Angel, and in college there was like a group of dancers, and my boyfriend's roommate was dating one of these dancers, and I think it was Tuesday nights at that time, they would all come together, and I was like Buffy night, and so I was like usually a part of it, and it was so I knew there is kind of this like cult Buffy following, and had that sense, but you didn't have that sense of like, oh, look at all the people talking about it on Twitter this morning, or it was mostly through either going to conventions, or there would be just like parties for Angel and Buffy and stuff like that.
When you got the role, did you just freak out? So excited.
I was so excited. Yes. When I first, just auditioning for it was so surreal after already being a Buffy fan. But when I got the role, I was just couldn't believe it, first of all. But I didn't know initially that I was going to be a series regular. It was, as I was auditioning, it was just for like a 3-episode arc at the end of season 2.
Mm. And then it continued on for,
well,
you were on 3 seasons, right?
Yeah. Yes. By the time on the day of my first episode, they had decided they wanted to add a new female series regular to the show. And so before I started shooting that day, Joss had written a screen test for Alexis and Jay for me, but I was a scene with Jay and Alexis, and it was kind of a Midsummer Night's Dream spin, little Shakespeare type scene that we did. And so that was the first thing I ever shot on Angel, was a scene that wasn't in it, but it's on like the DVDs or something, if you want to check it out.
Well, that must have been fun, because then you did the Much Ado About Nothing.
Yeah.
With that whole team, with a lot of those people. Yeah. That must have been fun.
That was amazing. That was such a amazing experience, just because it's one of those things that I always feel like when people watch the movie, they're like, it looked so fun. And something about watching the movie, it felt exactly like that. We were all just like, it was like, let's go to movie camp and make a movie all together. So it was really fun.
Yeah, that seemed the case. You did a good job with that. And then you were on Alias. So that must have been a pretty cool show to be a part of.
Yeah, that was very exciting. Some of the writers, or at least Drew Goddard, who was on Angel, had moved over and was working on Alias, and so there was a little like connection as I moved over there. But it was such a fun show to be a part of for everybody.
So then your first Christmas movie you did was Dear Santa, I think. Is that right?
Yeah.
So that's a really cute one. We really enjoy that one.
Thank you.
And I think it's a tricky role because she's very privileged, and she has everything kind of given to her, and I think it'd be a little bit hard to keep that character likable. Was that something that you thought about and focused on?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I guess the fact that she was like being cut off and that she really did want to do good things made it, I was able to like be like, oh, that's why I like her, because I agree. Like, and also I don't usually get to play like the prissy rich girl kind of thing. So I was already probably slightly judgmental of that to begin with, but I felt like there was just such heart in the story. And then when you meet her love interest, and you have the foil of the kind of evil girlfriend who makes her look better. So, but yeah, I think that was definitely a challenge. That's
true. That girlfriend was bad. She
was something.
Yeah. So how did you get involved in this whole Hallmark movie these kind of sweet romances. Were you just up in Vancouver shooting, or how did that all happen?
No, for Dear Santa, I think I just remember getting asked to do it, and we shot that up in Calgary.
Mm.
So we went up there for that, and it was just, I just was excited to get, because it's so different than Angel and Alias and most anything else I do. And my mom was really happy that I was not killing someone or being killed.
She can invite all the friends over for the premiere.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, you did a novel romance, which I really enjoy that one a lot. That one's really cute.
Thank you.
I like the whole story, the whole idea of
Yeah.
the romance writer on this on the sly hiding out.
I know.
And your character had like the baggage that made her perspective made sense.
Oh, well, thank you.
Because of what had happened with her boyfriend.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I mean, that was a great one to do. I mean, that one, I really liked working with Dylan.
There's Tammy Gillis, Emily Tennant, Charles S. Dutton, Casey Manderson, like a really great cast.
It was a lot of fun people. And I felt like it was just a real solid story, like you said. And it had, sometimes you have to kind of let go and just be like, I'm accepting that this is Hallmark land and a different thing. But this is like, oh, I do understand this girl, and I see why. And I like both types of the Hallmark movies. So
were you like a fan of rom-coms growing up and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the fun part to me about watching Hallmark now is I just don't feel like they make those movies anywhere else. Like we used to get to watch those in the theater, and now it's rare that you get to see a rom-com anywhere other than on Hallmark.
It's true. It's really true. I agree. And yeah, especially you'll see like the more R-rated ones, like the things like oh my gosh, my brain like Knocked Up, and I forget that guy's name. Yeah. Which there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just not my preference. I prefer the sweet rom-coms.
Yeah, it feels like a little bit different when it's raunchy and I mean those feel more like comedies than
Judd Apatow. That's who I was
thinking. Yeah.
Very. I agree. I think they were so brilliant, and they just saw that there was this like need, there was this void for romances, and they filled it. Especially during the Christmas season. So you also have done some voice work, which I am a huge animation fan, so I wanted to ask you about that.
Yeah.
And so what is do you have any process for doing different voices?
Oh, well, I mean, all of the things I haven't gotten to do as much as I would like of that because I really enjoy it, but all of those projects have been slightly different. And, sometimes you go in and they already have the character drawn, and sometimes you're reading the dialogue before you see any of the animation. So I think like with Superman Red Sun, we hadn't seen the animation the first time we went in to read the script. So it was kind of just talking to the director about what direction they were going in, and obviously it being based on a comic, looking at the comic that they're basing it off of. But yeah, those are really fun. And then sometime with Justice League, it was like a staged reading, and everybody was in the room together, and you got to really play off of each other and read it, so you weren't just alone guessing what the person was going to do, which I really liked that experience.
Oh, that's nice. That doesn't happen that often.
No.
That's cool. So then you had a Nutcracker Christmas, and you said you had taken dance lessons when you were little. What was that like, playing this ballerina?
That was really fun. I was, they were like, you do ballet? And I was like, yeah. And then I realized as they were like, okay, well, we want you to be on point and so start taking classes. And I had, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks before we were going to start shooting. And so I was like, oh, wait, I mean, it's actually been like 30 years since I've been up. Like, it's not like it was just yesterday. But I had this like really great coach who helped me out a lot, Judy, and she, so every day I was dancing for 4 or 5 hours. And by the time I got there, I was like, okay, I feel pretty prepared. And then I arrived in Toronto and there was Sophia Lucia, who's like world record holder for most pirouettes ever in the world. And there's Sasha, who is principal dancer at ABT and now like artistic director of ABT. And then all of the extras are from the Toronto National Ballet. And I was like, oh, no, these are like real dancers. Like I'm gonna really be faking it. So.
Yeah. You're like, what did I sign up for?
I tried. There was a couple of tears along the way where I was just like, oh, I'm never gonna be good. And Sasha was like, Amy, I've literally been dancing every day of my life for like the past 40 years. It's okay. It's a movie.
Yeah. I think they covered it pretty good. They made you look good. They did.
Yes. Well, I had a great double too. So she was amazing.
Yeah. And that one had like, it was on Movies and Mysteries, I think. It had some emotion more than their typical Hallmark movie.
It was like there was a lot of with the sister and all of that.
Tearjerker.
It was a sad one. But it was, I really enjoyed making that movie. It felt like a really big Hallmark movie. You know, some of them feel like you go and do them really quickly. Something about that movie, and maybe it was because I was in rehearsals for so long, but just even the way they shot it, the whole scope of it, and having these huge dance studios and these locations, and that was a fun one.
Mm-hmm. So then we've had a 5-year break from Hallmark. That took it all out of you. Done for a while.
I was ready to go. They didn't have an opportunity, I guess.
So this new film, the crashing through the snow. So was that shot during quarantine?
We shot it this past April, May.
Okay.
So a couple of months ago. Yeah.
So what was the whole quarantine experience? What was that like for you? How long were you sheltering in place, I guess we say?
Well, it was interesting because I had my vaccinations and was like thinking like, oh, well, I'm vaccinated. I don't have to be locked up for 2 weeks, but that was not the case. So it was a 14-day quarantine.
Oh, you had to be quarantined. Yeah.
And then we started shooting like the next day that I got out.
Did you just like binge watch a lot of stuff? Yes, I can finally get caught up.
I was feeling like I was going to. I don't know how, like the day would be over and I'd be like, what have I done? Like, how did I fill this time? I don't know, but I felt very busy and I was like, not bored at all. I was fine with being alone. I was just like enjoying it. I read a little and I watched The Crown and I was doing some writing and I don't know how I filled the days, but I managed to.
That's great. Yeah. Did you, when the quarantine, when the shut-in started last year, did you do any like quarantine baking or like get on the sourdough trend or anything like that?
Well, a little bit. I have made sourdough pre-quarantine. And basically, I'm like, for me, I just haven't mastered it. I'm like, it's good. It's bread that I baked, but we have a really great bakery and it's not ever going to taste as good as that. So I definitely did it, but I wasn't super, I don't know. I didn't quite get on that train as much. we did a lot of little house projects, and I feel like I got on board with some other quarantine trends, but I don't remember.
Doing puzzles. That was a big thing.
I did some puzzles, some hard puzzles.
Yeah, it was an experience. It was crazy. Yeah.
We'd like to take a second from this episode of the podcast to celebrate our sponsor of this episode, and that is the Hallmarkies Patreon.
Do you love Hallmarkies podcast?
Do you want an inside scoop into what happens on the podcast?
Do you want early access to episodes and loads of cool perks?
Now is the time to become a patron of Hallmarkies podcast.
By becoming a patron, you get to access our patron Facebook group.
You can request episodes or even be a guest on the podcast.
And most importantly, any patron can join our monthly movie watch-alongs with stars like Paul Campbell, Natalie Hall, and more.
It's as low as $2 a month to join in and become a special part of the Hallmarkies family.
Please consider, and we will love you forever.
Go to patreon.com/Hallmarkies.
That's patreon.com/Hallmarkies.
Yes. So Crashing Through the Snow, why don't you tell us a little bit about it? It's the new movie for Christmas in July. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it and your character?
Yes. Well, Crashing Through the Snow is about a woman. I play Maggie, and I am divorced, but co-parenting successfully with my ex-husband, Jeff, who's played by this guy, Christian, who's amazing. And I love him, and he's hilarious, and he's so great in the movie. And so they have these two daughters and have always managed to stay doing Christmas together. And now he has a new girlfriend who Maggie is pretty intimidated by, because not only is Maggie, she's kind of like the artistic one who also happens to be clumsy. Another reason it's called Crashing Through the Snow is that she is crashing through a lot of things. But so his girlfriend, Kate, invites Maggie to sort of crash their Christmas in Aspen, and invites her to Christmas with Jeff and her daughters. And Jeff's not very happy about the whole thing, but Maggie's like, sure, I'll come. So she ends up going to Christmas at his new girlfriend's house in Aspen, and everything that she does is perfect. And Maggie's like feeling like she's losing her daughters, and feeling like, oh, that maybe this whole thing of him having this new girlfriend is going to change her life in a negative way. And her brother shows up from Japan, being a world famous chef, and he comes home, and he unexpectedly shows up for Christmas. So he's crashing as well. And he kind of teams up with Maggie, saying, I know how to do this. She always steals everybody's limelight. So I'm going to help you win Christmas. And so we get to go on all these adventures, skiing and ice skating and helicopter rides and all sorts of things to try to make the girls have their best Christmas ever. And as you do in a Hallmark movie, end up falling in love. And at the end, we all end up celebrating Christmas together.
I think it sounds so fun. It looks like it's got a little bit of a madcap energy, a little bit of humor, which I'm looking forward to.
Yes, there's a lot of funny there. I mean, we actually one day we got pretty much in trouble because we could not stop laughing. It was I just was tears flowing from my eyes, trying not to laugh so hard. There was just so many times when we had a blast making it. That Tamar, who wrote the script, it would just have these really funny moments already written in, and lots of pratfalls, and just super awkward situations that are really fun.
That's cool. I'm excited about that. And it's interesting it being this divorced couple, that kind of dynamic. You usually don't see that in Hallmark. So I'm excited about that too.
Yeah, I think they were, they kept telling us we're gonna let's push the boundaries a little. Like, don't feel like you have to play into whatever mold you think of for this. Like, let's just have fun. And as you were kind of saying, that has this real throwback to a 90s rom-com. And it feels like if it was in the 90s, this might have been a movie that you would have seen in the theater at Christmas. So
yeah,
it's
totally.
a lot of fun.
Yeah. And Warren Christie, he's a veteran, Hallmark veteran.
He is. And I have known Warren for 15 years. We've worked together on, I think, 3 shows prior to this, not non-Hallmark related, but so he's just one of my favorite people ever. And when I found out that they were getting him to do it, I was like, please come play. I want you there. So it was just a blast getting to spend that time with him.
And Brooke Nevin, she's great.
Yes,
we love her.
Great. She's a big Hallmark girl too. And she is so fun in this. She just is like the pro. She knows exactly how to do it. And she's a really great foil to Maggie. And yet it's fun because it's not like your stereotypical Hallmark thing with the evil girlfriend. She's actually really trying to be nice and good. Maggie's just intimidated by her perfection. So
yeah, there's just that rivalry there.
Yeah.
Which who can relate to that?
Exactly.
So you shot this in April, and where were you up in Canada?
Yes, we were in Winnipeg for the majority, and then the last few days we flew to Banff in Calgary, outside of Calgary, which was gorgeous.
So you still had some snow and stuff like that for skiing and things like that?
Yeah, we actually, it was still snowing in Winnipeg when we were shooting a couple of times there as well. But the last night there's this steamy scene in a hot tub, which is
literally steaming.
Yes, exactly. But it was our last night, and it's a scene with Warren and I, and it started at midnight. It started snowing, these gorgeous, amazing snowflakes, the size of a tennis ball, that were just all separate and falling down. And I guess all of the Canadians were less phased by it than me, but I was like, this is the most magical thing I've ever seen. This is a Hallmark movie. You couldn't have paid for this to be this amazing.
You're like, I'm ready to fall in love right now.
I know. It's just, what's happening?
That's great. So were you excited when you heard that it was going to be debuting Christmas in July? That's kind of fun.
Yeah, when we were shooting it, I did not know that was part of the deal. And so that was a real, it was kind of like, oh, I wonder if anyone will remember that in December when it comes out. But then they were like, no, it's coming out in July. I was very excited and had never really, I guess I didn't really know about Christmas in July, but it makes so much sense that I'm so excited to be a part of it.
Yeah. I think that it's really a special thing to get noticed for Christmas in July, because when you've been starved from Christmas content for 6 months, it means all the more, rather than when there's 40 movies, they all kind of mesh together sometimes. So this is just very special.
Well, thank you. I'm excited. I think it's a fun movie. So I think it'll be fun to watch at any time of the year.
I love watching Christmas movies off season. Of course, I host a Hallmark podcast, so that's no big surprise. But but I do. There's just something extra cozy about it. That's oh yay, Christmas in whenever. Christmas in April, Christmas in June, Christmas in July.
Yes.
And I sometimes find ones that I was maybe a little bit tough on during the holidays. And then I watch it off season. I'm like, oh, that wasn't that bad.
You're like, it just got lost in the jumble of Christmas.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. I think it's going to be fun. I like that idea of the rivalry and the little bit more humor. I feel like that's something that they stepped up a little bit last year. And I've heard, and it seems like they're going to be doing it even more this year, which I'm a big fan of.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it was fun.
That's great. Very good. All right. Well, I have some fun, silly questions for you all about the holidays. So
Right.
put on your imaginary Christmas hat.
Yes. Oh, I have this probably doesn't count, but it was my sister's birthday.
Well, there we go. That's great.
That's all I got.
All right. First question. What is your favorite holiday drink?
Oh,
Yeah. Cocoa, whatever you
holiday
like.
drink. Well, last year
Eggnog.
I made there's like, do you ever follow the girl on Half Baked Harvest?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He made this delicious, like cranberry Christmassy margarita with like a sugary rim.
Yeah.
And I'm ready to have that again.
There we go. That'd be perfect for Christmas in July. That's your excuse.
Exactly. I'm gonna have it next week.
All right. What is your favorite holiday cookie or treat?
Oh, well, I love to do like every year we make this recipe that I love of just sugar cookies that we decorate way too many of. And so I love those, but I also really love peppermint bark.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
That sounds good. All right. Next question. What is your favorite Christmas song or carol?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I like all of them. Maybe Let It Snow.
There we go. That
Yeah.
sounds good. Okay. What is your favorite classic Christmas movie that you got to watch every year?
Probably Elf.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. All right. So which do you prefer more, Scrooge or the Grinch?
Oh, I think Scrooge maybe.
Okay, good. Yeah. I mean, they both kind of hate Christmas. They're both kind of mean. They get redeemed. So there we go. All right. Clear lights or colored?
Oh, well, it depends on what you're putting them on. I usually do white, so clear, I guess.
Okay.
But
Yeah, I agree. I like colored outside, but on the tree, I like clear.
same.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Would you rather be in a snowball fight or build a snowman?
Oh, I think a snowball fight.
Very good. Because you have to have a lot of snow to build a snowman.
Yeah,
Really
I've definitely had some failed snowman attempts that usually just end up as snowball fights. So.
Yeah. Did you grow up in Los Angeles?
No,
in California?
in Dallas. So.
Oh, in Dallas.
So
you still didn't have a ton of snow growing up.
No, not much at all.
Is that exciting when you went to your first like snow holiday or you first saw snow?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up skiing, so
Okay.
I started skiing when I was so little. I don't quite remember, but I loved going skiing every time because I got
you guys go to like Colorado or?
Yeah, we would drive to Colorado and it was an adventure.
Yeah. You don't have a Texas accent at all. I would not have known.
After those margaritas, it comes out.
Oh, look for the Facebook live viewing. We see. We're like, oh, okay.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. Are you a good gift wrapper or not?
I'm a pretty good gift wrapper. Yeah. Yes. I have this amazing friend, my friend Ellen, and she has this is like my new thing at Christmas that I love because she has this, her Instagram's like Bojagi. I'm not saying it right. Now she's going to be upset with me. But it's like this Korean wrapping where you wrap it in fabric and it's beautiful.
Oh.
And then you don't you don't have to waste paper and all of this stuff. So that's always my, like, I strive to, but she makes the most beautiful wrapping packages. So I just try to imitate her.
That's one thing I noticed when I went to Japan was just how beautiful everything was. Either I felt like really cute, like Hello Kitty kind of cute, or like gorgeously wrapped, like even just like a cookies or something like that, crackers. It was in this like beautiful box.
Yes, you would like her website. It's just like soothing to just watch her wrap these beautiful things. So
that's cool. All right, last question. And probably since you're in California, you don't, but do you have an ugly Christmas sweater?
I do.
All right.
Yes, when I was on Person of Interest, we did our cast Christmas card was ugly sweaters that I was in charge of buying for everyone, and no one wanted to keep theirs. So now I have like 4 ugly Christmas sweaters.
That's funny. What's the ugliest of the group, in your opinion?
There's some doozies. There's one that's like black and it has some gold stitching and Christmas trees and sorry, my husband's here.
We're almost done.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Oh wow. Well, that's it. You answered all the questions. Congratulations. You passed the test.
Yeah.
So we're really excited about the new movie. Thank you so much for coming on talking about it with us. It's going to be super fun. And if people want to follow you on social media, how do they do that?
Oh gosh, I think I'm the Amy Acker. Is that might be right on Instagram and maybe on Twitter. I'm not good at it.
We'll have it all in the description, so people can follow you. And we will look forward to, let me see if it's on here. Yes, at Amy Acker on Twitter. So
perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. We'll have that all on the description section. People make sure to follow you and make sure you're following the podcast at Hallmarkies Pod and Hallmarkies Podcast, all of our social media. If you're listening on iTunes, please leave us your ratings and reviews. We really appreciate that. And if you are watching on YouTube, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and you check out our Patreon and merch store. We would really appreciate it. And let us know your thoughts of all the different things that we talked about. We'd love to hear what you have to say in the comments or on Twitter. And thanks so much, Amy. This was a blast. I had a great time, and I hope you have a very Merry Christmas in July.
You too. Thank you so much for having me.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.